Well, welcome. Welcome, onliners. Um, we just had a demonstration of calmness in meditation when at the last moment our technology decided to update. So today what we thought is to get and focus on the experience first. So people come to meditation for various reasons. Somebody comes for, as they say, seeking. They feel a bit of a void in their life. They know that they don't feel fulfilled for whatever reason it is. It's like on the surface, you have everything you want on a worldly level, but you just feel a bit of emptiness inside. And some come because they feel stressed in their lives and so on, especially if you have a child. So one analogy is, and it is by design that we feel stressed. We were discussing this last time, actually, when you mentioned, Ravi, that, why did you come? We came for this reason. So I was reading a bit of books and so on. So we all have a spirit inside us, it's called the soul, and its goal is to unite with the Supreme Spirit, the one that created us. But then then you can say, why can't the Supreme Spirit just connect us? It will not, because it has this idea of freedom and free will. Unless you make an effort to connect to that Supreme Spirit, it will not do the connection by itself. So when that connection is not there, we are like headless chickens. We don't feel satisfied, we feel stress, because we are supposed to feel stress. Until that connection is not there, we will go through these things. And clearly God can't just come and say, hey, you're feeling stressed because of this. He'll give all these signals to us. So we are stressed, we get anger, we get this easily irritated, can't really cope. So these are all signals that that connection is not there. And then previously, in the time of the saints and the sages, they used to leave family and go and meditate and so on. This is the first time, so I can't stress enough, this is the first time in the history of humans that the connection between your spirit and the Supreme Spirit has been made possible without us doing much. Because the lady in the photograph, Shri Mataji, has actually found out how to do this. And this is why, as a mark of respect, we have our photograph. So now, then what do we do? So do we then go like university when we learn ABCD and then learn the words and then the sentences and so on? That's definitely one way. People have tried, spent their lifetimes and got nowhere. So that is one path to reach this. The other path is simply like a child. Sometimes a child is cranky. The child can't say why they're cranky. Just cranky, no matter what you give. You give the books, you give the chocolates, they're cranky. And if you take that attitude, sometimes you figure out they're cranky because they're hungry. They can't express they're hungry. So and then grandparents and the parents, everybody running up and down, giving the child a toy, showing you the YouTube thing where Hanuman is dancing over. Yeah, a child doesn't get satisfied until there is food. So when the child is given food, the child is not going to ask, Mommy, what is the recipe of the food? Did you put this much salt or that much salt, or is it? The child just eats and satisfied. So today, let's take that approach where we just go through the experience of it. And so what that means is we won't be talking as much. And then at the end of the program, you can ask questions. You can type in. If you're shy, please type in, and then we'll take those questions. So let that come from you rather than we explaining you to death. Because we can go through all that energy centers and what they mean and so on. But until you have the experience, it means nothing. So what we'll do today is Chaitanya will walk us through the self-realization process. For those of you who have been here, you would have had these steps. So try not to feel bored, because every time you do this, the Kundalini establishes itself quite well. So then you feel the strength of your meditation improves. So if you can lead us. So the only thing is you put your feet on the floor and keep your socks on. hands on the lap. As I was saying in the beginning, the only prerequisite for this is that in your freedom, you have to request your self-realization. That he'll walk us through now.
Sure. So the whole idea, just to start it off, is to kind of relax the mind and allow this energy to travel from the base of the self to the top where it gets integrated. Yeah. So for that, just like, yeah, sit in it's a good idea to have a sitting position, but just relax, close your eyes or keep them open. And you get your left hand, place it palm up on the left knee, and get with the right hand, just place it first on the heart, so on the left side of the chest. You can say to yourself out loud or just quietly, Mother, am I the pure spirit? So am I that which created me, the soul that is me beyond all the mental? So am I the pure spirit? And just hold it there and just don't think, but just reflect on that. So then get the right hand and move it downwards. Just just on the left of the belly button, under the left rib, where the left ribs end. And here just say, Mother, am I my own master? So am I in control of myself? Am I the one who's in charge of myself and my own actions and desires? And just let that kind of be the main thing you're concentrating or just reflecting on. Am I my own master or teacher? Whatever works. And then lower it again to just where the leg meets the torso. And then here you have to say, because this is where kind of the energy starts from, Mother, please give me the pure knowledge. So please give me the pure understanding of the self. And just say that to yourself a few times until you know that it's what you're focusing on and what you want to happen. So please give me the pure knowledge. So then raise it just up again to under the rib. And here it changes because you've gone the pure knowledge. So now you can say, Mother, I am my own master, or I am my own teacher, and I am the one who controls myself. So say that a few times. And if it helps, you can do some breathing exercises just to relax the self. So just breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Because this isn't supposed to be a stressful thing. It's supposed to be just understanding the self. So then raise your hand back up to the left side of the chest to the heart. And here you have to kind of once again confirm that Mother, I am the pure spirit. Because the heart is where all the blood, all the life-giving force goes to the rest of the self. So here you have to say, I am the pure spirit. Then raise it back, once more up again to the left side of your neck. And it helps if you move your head just to the right a bit, because the neck carries a lot of strain, a lot of stress. So here you just say, Mother, I am not guilty. Because before you got the pure knowledge, the true knowledge, you didn't really know exactly what you're doing. But now you can say that you're not guilty. You didn't mean to do them. So just, I am not guilty. Then just place your forehead into your hand and just bend your head a little bit. And here you can say, Mother, I forgive everyone, and also I forgive myself. Because before, the soul or yourself, it didn't exactly know what it's doing, but now that it does know, you have to let go of the things you did. And just say that you forgive, that you let go, and that you're not worried anymore. So just, Mother, I forgive everyone, and also I forgive myself. Then get your right hand and place it on the back of the head. Just let the head relax a bit, moving backwards, so you just look up a bit. And here you have to say, Mother, if I have done anything wrong, then please forgive me. Because you've forgiven everyone else, but you still have to understand that maybe you did some wrong things, but you can move on from them, move forward. So if I have done anything wrong, then please forgive me. Then just place your right hand on the top of your head, to the part that used to be soft when you were a child. And this is the part where all the energy we've been raising all comes together. So it reaches the kind of the epitome, the fountain. And just press your right hand down just quite gently, and you can rotate the scalp in a circle. And just here say, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Because the self has now gone through all these parts of the self. It's gained knowledge, it's gained mastery, it's lost all the bad stuff it's done. So now please give me my self-realization. Please allow me to know myself. And don't think, but just reflect on the top of the head as you're rotating it round. And then just raise your right hand slightly above your head. And you can often feel either a bit of cool, sometimes something like a warm, I won't say jet because that's quite strong, but breeze. However you feel, just hold it there and just put your attention on it. You can raise your hand up a bit more and see how far it extends. And just to show it's not just the right hand or any kind of pressure, just raise your left hand. It's kind of the same area. You can just hold it just slightly above the head. And just wait till you can feel the area where the cool air comes from. And just without thinking, you can raise your hand a bit higher or lower. And then because now you have achieved the realization, the self has kind of connected to the greater self. Just put your hands down into your lap. And then without thinking, just quietly meditate for maybe 5 minutes. Just allowing the self to be the self without thought. Just relaxed. because now you should be ideally at peace or able to get peace. So, music. So we'll just play a bit of music now, because sometimes when you're meditating, it helps to kind of allow the attention and drift away when the music's on.
With our eyes closed, Let's observe how we are feeling on our palms. The sort of questions you can ask yourself is my right palm heavier than the left or the other way around? Or if they're both feeling relaxed? Or in any particular finger, are you feeling a sort of itch or a bit of a pins and needles or tingling? Just observe. Now, we could consider this as the first part of the program. What we'll ask you in the end is, there'll be another little session. We'll ask you is, compare what you feel then with what you feel now. And then hopefully you'll see the difference. You can slowly open your eyes. Some water. There's some water. So, what did you feel, Ravi? Did you feel anything in the palms?
I felt very light.
You liked it? And you, Lakshmi?
Right hand felt heavier and no.
Did you feel any particular thing in that finger? No? Not
Just
it.
now.
Okay. So why we asked that question is that Shri Mataji started Sahaja Yoga more than 50 years ago. There's lots of knowledge. So it's like when, for a lack of better analogy, when you make this pizza, chapati, pizza, roti, first it becomes like a dog and a few maps and so on, until you make, it takes a bit of a practice until you make a round, properly round roti pizza. So you don't do that day one. You can't, I haven't met anyone. Did you? No. I haven't met anyone who made a perfectly round thing. So we just have to be patient with ourselves to gain that knowledge. But you'll get to that point. So one of those things is that each of the energy centers is represented. We have 7 energy centers. Each one is represented in the fingers. So it's a bit of a key to knowing which energy center is catching, and then you clear it. So before that, what we could do is, in another little meditation session, clear our channels. So there are 3 channels. One is the center, one is the left, and one is the right. So it is suffice to know that left is about the past, and it's about getting down, a little bit depressed and stuff like that. And the right is about the future, and it's about being very active. And center is the channel where we want to be. So in a climate, in a weather like this, it's sort of natural to feel a bit down. So then we say, oh, you're feeling a bit left-sided. So that's the jargon we use. So what we could do is, we could clear those and perhaps say some affirmations. So arms like this again. And put just before I blabber on, the main thing is that we keep our attention there in that space. So Shri Mataji gives a lot of lectures, has given a lot of lectures. We'll listen to one in midst the meditation. She was giving this example of attention. Sometimes something might be something rotten. It smells. But sometimes that rotten thing is there, but you don't smell it. So the way she's explaining is that the attention is where you put it. You see some people the leg is cut off, but they're not bothered, sort of thing. Just don't have their attention on it. So the attention is something like that, where your whole soul you're putting there. So when you put your hand, you just just feel the place where your hand is touching the top of the head. And try to be there. Attention is a thing to experience rather than using a million words to explain it. So let's try and get into that experience. Let's put our right hand on top of the head. You put your hand back to the lap. Let the attention rest there. And in our hearts we say, Mother, please establish my self-realization that I just received. Mother, please let my attention be inside. So in a few minutes, I'll play a little excerpt of Shri Mataji's speech. You can open your eyes when you hear the voice. But until then, you can try and let the attention be on the top of the head. If it moves, you can again put your hand on top of the head, bring it back, and do that as many times as you feel necessary. And the prayer could be the same thing. Mother, please establish my self-realization. Mother, please establish my self-realization.
Now above that is the second, actually the second one we treat as the third one, it looks here, is the power of, I was saying up here, this is the center of our seeking. This center is called as the Nabhi Chakra, which gives us our seeking. When we are in the state of animal, then we seek food through our stomach. And you will be amazed then when we become human beings, also we seek our money through our stomach. We may get little diverted here and there. But ultimately we even seek our God through our stomach. Surrounding this stomach is the area where one has to cross. And this area is actually the area of the masters. All the primordial masters were born in this area, like Moses, Socrates. There are main basic 10 primordial beings who came on this earth, who came to give us an idea as to our seeking, what we have to do. Basically, they came here to teach us how to balance ourselves. how to balance so we can ascend. Now, all these great prophets or primordial beings, we should say they were the ones who were the masters, they came to inform us that if you cross too much onto the left side or too much on the right side, then you will be falling in your sustenance, in your quality as a human being. As a human being, you have to have a sustenance. And this is the center that gradually unfolds the sustenance from animal to higher animals and to human stage, where a person starts realizing that these sustenances exist within us. That's how all our laws have come. The 10 commandments of the Bible are the 10 sustenances that are within us. These are the 10 gurus who came on this earth to save human beings from getting out of the middle path, going more to the left and more to the right. Now the left side, as you see here, is the side which is the emotional side within us, is also the power of desire, is the emotional side which gives us our subconscious, and beyond that is our collective subconscious. On the right hand side, we have another power of action, that our desire we try to put in the action, and this power of action gives us our future and sustains our physical and mental activities. As a result of that, we develop an institution in our head called ego. Everyone has it. There's nothing to be frightened of. When we do something, we feel we have done it. And that is a myth, but still, we carry on with the myth because we have not yet seen the reality. The another one is the left side power within us, by which we receive the aggression of others, by which we have our past, gives us an institution as a byproduct of our activity, emotional activity, an institution like a balloon you will see there called as super-ego. These two things meet in the head just like this. As you grow and a calcification takes place on top of your head near the fontanelle bone area, and this soft area which is pulsating in childhood becomes completely covered. Thus you developed your I-ness. You become Mr. X, Y, Z and all that. You develop your own freedom. This is the freedom that you have achieved to be Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z. After achieving this, you start using the second center, which is the center of your creativity, the center of your action. Animals do not have any ego. Of course, if they live with human beings, they may develop. But otherwise, they have no ego at all. And if you do something wrong, you feel hurt, you feel guilty. Animals never feel guilty. Because it is in their nature to kill another animal, it is in their nature to eat, so they never feel guilty. It's only human beings who say, oh, I should not have said this, I should have not done this. This is only human quality that we feel guilty. It is only human quality that we aggress others. So the second center comes into play, by which you think. And you think about the future, you plan.
Let's put our hands on our laps. Once again, we can put our hand on top of the head, bring our attention to the top of the head. Once your attention is settled, you can bring your hand back to the lap. We can drop our right hand towards the ground. So we do this to clear the left channel, where Shri Mataji was describing it as the channel of emotions. So now outside weather can influence this channel. So for example, if it's cold outside, you feel like staying inside. However, if you let the weather decide how your mood should be, you will be swinging like a pendulum. So instead, if we depend on the motherly energy within us, it's called the Mother Kundalini, we can overcome those external influences. So by trusting that motherly energy within us, which gets activated because of your self-realization, you ask that motherly energy. Like a son who has a right to ask his mother, like a daughter who can ask her mother, "Mother, please clear my left energy channel." Or, "Mother, please clear my left side." When you do this, try and keep your attention on top of the head. And you can say this prayer several times in your heart, in any language you like. "Mother, please clear my left channel." Put our right hand on the lap, and we raise our left hand up. You can quickly see and close your eyes again. And once again, so right channel gets affected also by the external weather. Like on a hot day, you can feel cranky, revved up. Once again, if you let the weather decide our mood, it's probably not a good idea. So we request the motherly energy within us. "Mother, please clear all the problems in my right channel. Mother, please let all the aggression in my right channel dissipate away." So once again, aggression can be passive or really active. The ones who have the tendency to express passive aggression, they are not off the hook. So you can also ask for that to go away. "Mother, please let all types of aggression in me dissipate away." You can say that prayer several times in your heart, in any language you like. Put our hand back on the lap. Let's put our right hand on the heart. Mother Kundalini, please let your love for me be felt in my heart. Mother Kundalini, please let your love be felt in my heart. Just like how you're having your attention on top of the head, now bring it to your heart. Mother, please let me feel your love. And bring our hand back to the lap and stay in meditation while the music is playing. Keep your eyes closed, onliners yourselves. Now for a moment observe how you're feeling on your palms. Now if there was any particular finger that was a little bit heavier than the others, please make a note and ask a question later on what that could mean. And also make a note of how you're feeling in the general sense. Are you feeling peaceful? So that music was played for about 7 minutes. Did you feel it was 7 minutes? Or it all went away in a blip? So you can ask questions about those, but before we close, the Chaitanya will show us the last part of the program on how to raise our Kundalini and take Bandhan. This is something that you can also do at home every day until you come to the session next week.
Okay, so once again, this is just a very simple practice that you do at the start and the end of this meditation. It's kind of like going through the whole sequence we did, but just much more quickly, much more efficiently. So it's, I'll explain the first part. You get your left hand in front of yourself, so place it just above the knee, on your knees, and with your right hand, you just make a small circles around it as you raise your hand higher. And then raise it to the top of your head. You can look back, and then you tie a knot. So you're tying up the energy at the top of the head. And then you just repeat it again. So right hand making the circles around the left. But this time you do 2 knots the second time around. And then the third time, same thing, slowly just cycling up from the base, top of the head, then 3 knots. So that's tying up the energy we talked about at the top of the head, so it keeps the attention up there. And the second action, you get your right hand, you place it on your left hand, which is on your lap, and then you just kind of just pass it over in an arc over the body. You go back, and you do this 7 times, because as we did show before, there's 7 kind of centers to go through. And this is kind of confirming that they're protected. So, it's okay. And that's about it. So just at the start and at the end of the meditation, to finish off and that's.
So the onliners can ask their questions, and what do we call the offliners? No, that sound like the real people. So Ravi, when I asked you the second time how you felt, did you feel the difference this time versus when we did it in the past? Do you feel any lighter?
Felt the left hand more heavier than the right hand.
Yep. How do you actually?
This time I was a bit restless.
Oh, yeah.
My legs, yeah.
Oh, cool. So you said the left was heavier than the right. So what that is indicating is that your left channel needs a bit more work than the right. And what that could mean is a million things. So we try and not worry about what could have triggered that. So it's again one of those things where you just eat your lunch and be happy for now. So there are so many. So there's a whole, can't even start where it is. There's so many things you can learn, but it won't make sense until your meditation is established. So the only thing you can do is when you go home. So you came last week. One comment. Thanks, Michael. Michael says, I appreciate the meditation despite being late. It's okay. So what it means is that, so you said you came last week and then you turned up. So this week you could try and have a bit of discipline. So you start with that and you sit. And then keep your attention there. Observe if you're feeling again left heavy. If the left is heavy, you drop your right hand and then clear the left channel. And then when you do that, you can ask in your heart, Mother, please clear my left channel. All you have to ask is that. And then put it back and see how it goes. So you do that little bit, you are the doctor and you yourself have the medicine for yourself. So that sort of practice you can do at home. That's about it really. So there's no questions online, so we'll put some music on and then we'll talk.
Last year I was here. Yes, last year. Yeah. After your Padma. That's right. Yes, I came to my daughter's house. Yeah. And after going to home, I was doing practice. While practice, I used to do my chakra. Literally.
Thank you.